Uh, Today I gonna start with the recruiting. First, in the this is the as this is the provisioning account main page. Just search with the manage recruiting. Why it's not working? Yeah, manage yeah, managing recruiting. Here these are all the options. You guys can see, or you want me to? I think I decreased my screen size. So this is the place where we do most of the like importing the XMLs and downloading the XMLs and changing some recruiting settings. So these are all the things. Most of the time we change for the recruiting, like downloading the templates, importing the templates, and changing some statuses. These all will be done here. So how to navigate is just find the recruiting, or if you scroll down, you can see the manage recruiting. That's the place where. And coming to the first thing, I just want to let you know that there will be different roles in the recruiting. The roles will be completely different. Like in the PMGM, if you remember, E is for employee, right? E refers to role name. Let's say it's symbol or Dinesh.
Sir, could you please expand your screen? Means maximize.
Is that okay?
No, actually maximize. Okay, one second, one second. Actually, I mean, okay now. Yeah, yes, okay. Fine. Yeah.
Employee. Sorry. So in the PMGM and Employee Central and this one, the compensation, these in these modules, these are the types of like EM plus is all level managers, and EM plus is all level managers, and ED is nothing but direct reportee, and ED plus is all level direct reportees. So this is the kind of architecture which we see in PMGM, Employee Central, and all these modules compensation. But
Yes,
when
yes,
come
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
but coming to the recruiting, there will be different kinds of roles. Uh, Usually, it would be completely different. Like O is originator. It will be completely different terminology. Like I will note it down here. Let me delete all these things since we know these. There is one name called originator. Is It's denoted by O, and the R is for recruiter, and for hiring manager it's G. And for sources, there is one thing called sources. They call it as ES. And there is one more thing called second recruiter, nothing but called W. And coordinator. Don't panic. There will be usually we don't use all these, but they are there in recruiting. And Q, there will be Q, VP of staffing. What else? There is PV, which is called ad hoc reporter approvers. Ad hoc report approvers. There is one more thing called J, job requisition report. Yeah, usually, and as M is called a manager, H is called as HR, HR manager. X is called matrix manager. So these are the different types of roles which we use in recruiting. Okay, and most commonly used roles are originator, recruiter, and hiring manager. Usually, most of the times, these are the most used role. Very often, the people uses these three roles. But other than this, you should also have to remember these other things also like sources. Originator is nothing but I will show you. There is a I have few screenshots. It's Yeah, if you see the O is nothing but originator. Originator is nothing but a person who creates the requisition. Uh, the person that who has access to create a requisition. Uh, those people are called originator. Usually, there will be also derivative examples. Nothing but OM is nothing but this originator's manager, and OH is nothing but originator's HR manager. Okay, and R is nothing but recruiter. Who is there will be different recruiters for different regions and different departments. So recruiter is nothing but R, and RM is recruiters manager, and RX is recruiters matrix manager. So similarly, there is a hiring manager. Hiring manager is the person who hires the particular employee. That is nothing but if a manager has a position in his team or his manager under his hierarchy, then he is the person who hires that person. So he is the hiring manager, and his it is this particular role is represented by G, and the derivatives are like hiring manager's manager and hiring manager's HR manager. So in the same way, S is for sourcer. Um, sourcer, how we often used is uh, like who will be sourcing this particular requisition. Uh, how can I give an example? Like maybe sourcer. Uh, employee, that's a different example. I'm not getting a correct example to give you. Yeah, but as SM is sources manager and sourcer HR manager. Same thing, there will be a coordinator. Coordinator is nothing but we used while in the hiring, there will be some coordinators which will be helpful in the recruiting process, who coordinates the meetings and all those things. So they refer to as T. T is TM is nothing but uh, coordinators manager and coordinators hiring manager. Yeah, sometimes sources will be coming from agency people also, like someone who is from agencies or a third level people who is sending uh, sourcing the recruiting candidates. They will be also given this sources access, and they will be having the access to the this particular role. They is assigned to that person. And W is nothing but second recruiter, nothing but if in case there is a scenario that recruiter, there will be two different recruiters, and if the main recruiter R is absent or he is in a leave for a long term, the second recruiter will be in place, and it's very less often used, and it's referred to the W. And Q is nothing but VP of staffing. VP is nothing but vice president, who is like head of the entire staffing or recruiting in the organization. Usually, this role is given to only one person, and that person will be looking after the recruitment things like how much would be the cost involved in this recruiting, and how many open positions are there, and um, uh, how many open positions are there, and how much time it's taking to for the recruiting to each position, average time, and which recruiting company is uh, what is the source we are getting more often. Like, is it from the internet or some agent companies or from internal employees referrals? So these are all that person can go and take reports. So usually less often used, but that is the head of the entire staffing. And we is nothing but ad hoc report ad hoc approvers. Nothing but ad hoc is like it's not regarding a report. Ad hoc meaning is like whenever you want, on needed basis is the meaning of the word ad hoc. Okay, so if you need some uh, approval permissions as soon as possible, or someone who can approve the requisition and relate the requisition, so those all people are called ad hoc approvers. So usually this one also is very less often used, because once it goes through the approval chain, the appropriate people has to approve it, right? uh, so some scenarios we need it. V is for ad hoc approvers, and it for only one particular person. There won't be any VM which or VH, which is ad hoc approvers manager or hiring manager. And there is one more role which is called J, nothing but job requisition report. It's mainly used for reporting. That is, who would be having access to who would be having access to take the report and include those fields. Like when we are creating some fields, custom fields and standard fields, we will define in the field definitions, we will define whether this field should be available in the reports or not. So if we are when the in the for that purpose, in the job requisition reports, we use this particular operator J. I will show all these examples going forward, but these are the different you know symbols which we use, symbols or operators which we use for in the reporting. I think it's better to at least remember all the most often used and aware of all the other things also. And if you want to create a custom one, you can always create a custom role. So these are the different types of roles. Uh, I will share you these those two screenshots too. And coming to the first thing, while coming to the provisioning, you have to create these what we call different types of statuses. In every requisition template, there will be different types of statuses. So where is the place that you can configure those statuses is here. If you see application status configuration, this is the place where we configure different types of statuses in a particular requisition. I'll show you. There are two status sets. Nothing but we can use different set for each requisition template. Like if it's a US requisition template, we can use one status, and if it's a Canada requisition template, we use one status, and if it's an India, you can use one, and if it's for a new hire, graduate hires, we can use one, or if you are using for a what we call experienced hire, we can use one. Uh, and this is the standard set. I can't scroll. Excuse me. Yeah, this is the standard set. Like I will show you where these all appear. So if you select one particular job, like a project manager, and in here, if you go to the candidates, you can see like what particular stage all these candidates are. What are the status? There are 20 new applications forwarded, invited to apply. So these are all the different statuses which we can, which the employees could be there. Like these all statuses are configured here. If you see forwarded, invited to apply, default, automatic phone screening, shortlist interview. There are some groups, like onboarding status is a group, and there is only one status inside that group. And if you in progress status, inside the in progress status groups, there are many statuses. So in the same way, you can also see here. If you see onboarding, there is only one status. And if you see in the before group, which is the in progress group, you are having many, it's like a kind of group, all the statuses in one group. So here also you can see the difference, all the under the in progress status, you can see all these all. And all these statuses will be shown in the same order in the you in the instance also. Okay, so this is where we configure all these statuses. And you can create, just there is a name, description, and if you want to add a new status, you can add from here. All these are predefined. If you want to include a status, you have to just click that option. If you want to delete, if you don't want to delete some particular status, you can take an action and edit it. And if you want to remove that from here, you just click this option. I think this particular standard set is a default set right now, so I was not able to do it. But if you want to remove one particular option, this is the way that we can just include or delete the actions. Okay. So first thing, first we for every requisition template, we will get the requirements from what are the status that recruiters want, and we will configure the status sets here. And after the configure these sets have been configured, we will attach it to job requisition template. Okay, and this is the place. So this is one thing. And coming to the next one, it is job requisition template, which we called it as also JRDM, job requisition data model. It's also called as requisition template. Uh, I will show you where it. Uh, in the admin center, there is two different ways to configure the template requisition template. One is a managed templates. Like in the performance management, there is a managed templates, right? In the objective management, also there is managed templates. In the same way, in the recruiting also, uh, here is the place. If you see the recruiting icon, this is the place where all the recruiting tools will be there in the admin center. So if you go and search here, there will be one option called manage templates. Here it is. This is the same tool, like for performance, objective, goal management, 360, career development planning, and recruiting. So here we want to edit a job requisition. Okay, and these are all the different job requisition templates. This is Canada job requisition template, US job requisition template. So let's see the US requisition template for now. And this is how the just wait a second. And if you want to edit the same thing, edit or see it in the uh, provisioning, go to the manage recruiting. And if you go to the manage recruiting, there is a place called import, export, or update job requisition template. Okay, this is the place where we import, export, or update the existing job requisition template or JRDM or a requisition template. There are many names for this one. So if you see here, there are four different. There are four different templates. The same which we saw it here. Here also in the UI we have four. So coming to the mostly we can do usually SuccessFactors came up with the UI, and we can do many things in the UI also, but for the recruiting it's better to do it in the XML part, because here if you see
Sasi, what is UI actually? It is related to SAP?
UI is nothing but instance. Sorry,
Oh, sorry. I just confused actually.
no,
UI. Okay,
UI
okay.
is
Now got it.
user interface is nothing but instance.
Okay, 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 okay. Fine. Got it.
Uh, so if you see here, there are 105 different fields. So you have to edit all the 105 different fields in a pop-up window. It would be very difficult, and if you want to add the translations, again it would be one more thing. Like if you click add more, there will be one more pop-up above a pop-up, and here is the place where we add translations for different fields, and there will be pick list values. So if you are adding a pick list, so it's kind of hard. Usually many people choose and go for a XML, because from long time they're using the XML. They use the XML, but if you want to do it in the instance, it supports. I think most of the future. Usually I never use the UI also. I think supports it support it's a new upgrade, and it would support the most of the all the modifications in the UI too. But coming to the here, if you want to export it, just click this button, and it will be exported. Let us check the Canada one. US is having 105 different fields. Once you now exported the job requisition template, open it in an XML viewer. This is the Canada job requisition template. And usually where you see the job requisition template is when you are creating a new job. Okay, let me show you that view also. What? So if you are creating a new job requisition template, job requisition, here there are two options, right? Simple job requisition and standard job requisition. So if you create a new one, you will be having a new template. If you made a new template active, you will be having a new one. So these are the fields. You have to configure these fields. After entering these all fields, uh, so after you click next, there will be again like a big list of fields which you have to enter while creating a job requisition. While creating one job posting, you have to enter all these fields. You see there are many fields. So how we configure all these fields is through job requisition template. So this is the template which we use to create a job requisition. Okay, type is nothing but every XML will be having a type. If it is a performance management, it will show as PM review. If it's a compensation, it will show compensation. Objective management, it will show objective. So same like for the job requisition, it shows as job requisition. It's predefined. Spell check is nothing but false. The spell check, if you go to the previous step, I'm not sure whether you can go or not. We can't go to the previous step. Usually when you are entering a big text, there will be option to spelling check the spellings, or once again recheck the spellings by the system. So those will be it's set to false. Minimum posting days is 0. And minimum internal lead days is also zero. Minimum posting days is nothing but if the posting should be there in the system for at least a 10 days or at least a 20 days, so that is the minimum posting date. And minimum internal lead days is nothing but for internal for approvals, how many days you have to go through approvals, so that kind of thing. And template name is nothing but what is the template name, and all these are different translations. Denmark, Great Britain, US, France, Japan, Korean. And same thing with the description. Description is a basic thing. It's not shown anywhere. It's up to you to uh, keep it or not. And template last modified is a timestamp which the system keeps. Don't worry about this last modified one. And supported language. Usually, this particular template is supported by 10 different languages. But if it is a country,
Hello, Sasi, unable to hear. Hello. Hello, Sasi, unable to hear your voice.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Sasi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I guess you're not feeling well, Sasi, right?
No, it's just like a
Is it?
cold,
Okay. I mean, if you're not feeling well, probably,
No, no, no. Let me
can we
complete.
continue later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and these are all the different translations for the name. Usually, as for the business, it's a demo system, so that's why you are seeing these many types of translations. But if it's a Canada job requisition or a like country specific job requisition template, there won't be these many kinds of translations because in one country there won't be different translations, right? So since sale demo, we have these many. So if it is only one country supported and you are having one language, you won't be having any supported language, and you can just keep it as default language as US or something, which is a default. Default listing layout ID is nothing but if you go to the job requisition ID. Yeah, and coming to the instance, most of all the fields which I shown you now, taking too much time. All these things can also be seen like template last date, last modified date, supported languages, and default listing layout ID is nothing but there will be few different layouts. Um, Usually, that layout ID will be captured and it will be shown in. It will be kept here. I will show you the layout afterwards. Just remember the listing layout listing ID. We have to just check it there and keep that ID here. And assessment scale is nothing but rating scale. Like if you are giving some in the same way, if you see it here, it should be given through the UI assessment scale. Those all options which you see in the XML are the same options you can see here. The template name, application template name. Okay, all these are seen here. And coming to the assessment scale is nothing but rating scale. See, you see the rating scales here, AST rating scale, which we created for PMGM. So when you are creating something specific to what we say recruiting, you have to differ it by the names. If it's a PMGM rating scale, you have to clearly say that that is a PM rating scale or performance manager something. If it's a recruiting, you have to clearly define that it's a recruiting rating scale. Otherwise, you can't understand. All those rating scale will be shown in a one drop down. Same thing with the route maps too. So this rating scale will be used by the recruiter, like the hiring managers or the people who will be there in the meeting interviews. They will rate the candidates by using this rating scale. Okay. Reverse the assessment scale is nothing but few people go with like uh, usually some companies go with in 1 to 5 rating scale. 5 is the highest, but some companies go with like 1 is the highest. Usually the regular scale is from 1 to 5. 5 is the highest is the regular scale. If you want to go as reverse, 1 would be the highest and 5 would be the least. Okay, that is the reverse assessment scale. And coming to the next thing here, nothing but field definitions. Field definitions are nothing but if you go into the, it's very hard to navigate. If you are creating a new requisition, you can see all the different fields, right? Which a particular recruiter or originator who is creating a job requisition has to enter all these fields, like what is the title of the job requisition, and what is the approval date, and who is the hiring manager, and who is the recruiter. And after that, if you click next, there will be like 100 or 20 or 50 different fields based on the requirement. There will be lots of fields. So where we define all these fields and what type of fields. Some fields are, if you see, this is a currency field and this is a drop down field, and some are like pick list, some are enum, and some are date, and some are text boxes. This is a text box. It We can enlarge this how much big if you want. All these different fields are classification, what type of field, whether it is a required field or not. If you see some fields, those are required. If you see this field, this is a required field. The hiring manager is a required field. Recruiter is a required field. So all these fields, how we define is through field definitions. This is the field definition where we define all these fields. So this is the ID. ID is the every field will be having a unique ID. It's the same fields. If you remember in the goal management, while entering the goal details, we configured like weightage of the goal, name of the goal, metric of the goal, and what else? Start date, end date of the goal, due date of the goal. All these for each and every usually, it depends on recruiting is a very vast process. Every company will be having a different process. Usually there will be some uh, you know guidelines or best practices. But if a country if a company if a manager if a in an organization, if a manager gives access to hiring manager to create a job requisition, then he can create. Or if usually it would be a hiring manager will create a request. So yeah, it would be hiring manager sometimes, and sometimes it would be recruiter or a recruiting manager, or sometimes they call it as originator. So in the same way, there will be like different fields and field types, and whether they are required or not, and whether it is a custom field or a standard field or a group. If you want to show some fields in a group, what is a group name? Field label is nothing but a label, a name of the field. Here if you see, there will be in different translations, id is nothing but requisition id. So these are all the translations for the requisition id. And description of that field, whether it is a multi select or a single, oh sorry, whether it is a multi select or single select. Like if in a drop down, sometimes there would be an option to select multiple fields, two or three different options in a same field. So if it is a multi select or not multi select, uh, field label and description are the same things which are shown in before. This is the same thing, but we can see one more time. If it is a pick list is nothing but if it's a drop down field and there is let's say it is a country field, and in a or a state, there will be like many countries, right? In terms of 100, or it's a state, there will be 50 or 20 different states, and there will be a pick list. We will in the pick list management, we will create a pick list, and that particular pick list will be having an ID. That ID will be mapped here. So that particular field, uh, we can see all the IDs in the particular. So all the drop down values can be mapped to the this particular field through pick list ID, and all the values will be maintained in the pick list management. Again, the field label and field description are the same. There are some enum values. If there are some enum type of fields, there will be like if the drop down has very few values like 2 3 or 4 5, or these are regular fields, usually they go for enum type of field, and all the four or five fields will be captured here only. No need to go to the pick list or do anything. And if a particular value is having a default value, nothing but default is value is nothing but if you didn't enter anything in the field, if you didn't change that field, the default value will be captured. Okay. And some let's say for the high job requisition start date, if you didn't enter any start date, today's date will be captured. Today's date will be a um, what we say, the default value. If you take this particular example, oh sorry, navigating the keyboard is hard with this. Obviously here. This is the label currency. So currency usually, since it's a Canada one, they have to keep it as Canadian dollar, but they kept it as USD. Usually they kept the currency by default as USD. Usually by the business, they have to keep it as a Canadian dollar, right? Because it's a Canada requisition template. So that is how we keep the default values and enum values. Enum value, field description. So these are all the things. Usually, let me say you regarding, there will be many standard fields. If you want to use by creating the standard fields, you can use the standard fields. And if there are, if you can't fulfill the requirement by the standard fields, you can create the custom fields anytime. You can create as many as custom fields if you want. And there are few different types of fields. I will show you what are the types of fields. Excuse. First one is text field. nothing but text field holds like only it's just like a input field. Text field is nothing but a input field, and one more field is text area. Text area is nothing but used for this is used for let's say name. uh, uh, Name is the example. Here text area is nothing but description, and date is nothing but if you want to choose any date, like a requisition date or requisition end date. uh, those all fields can be addressed by the date, type of the field date. And there is a one more field called currency. Usually all the currency field like salary expected like salary range of this particular job. All these can be configured using the currency field. uh, and bool is nothing but true or false. It's if it is a checkbox. If it is a checkbox, we use the type called bool. And if it is a number, if you want to just give a number like how many days, how many days notice period you want. So for that particular number field, you use the field type as number. And enum, sorry, pick list is nothing but a drop down which has a large number of values. And the pick list values are maintained in the pick list management, and that particular pick list id will be mapped to this particular field. And enum is nothing but if you have a few drop down fields, very few fields like yes or no, or like three different options, standard options, like yearly, a half yearly, or a quarterly based. So if your pay is bi-weekly or monthly, or a week by week, or a hourly. So all these like small drop downs we use enum. Okay, and one more is a percentage field, like percentage of travel, how much percentage of travel you are looking to, you are willing to do, and willing to travel like 100% travel based job or 20% travel based job. So all these types of fields, percentage fields, are used can be made by this one. And instruction field, if you see I will show you an example. Uh, yeah, these are all the instruction fields. You can see some instruction, right, like physical location or branch, where you can see job country. You can see some instructions here for the instruction field. So these are the different instruction fields. Okay, and that is the instruction field. I show you an example number. How many are there? 10, I think. uh, Two more should be there. uh, One is derived fields, and another one is, what is another one? Operator. Yeah, these are the different fields. I will show you the derived fields and operator fields. This is a different type of field. Rich text is nothing but uh, uh, if you remember, like if you can edit same thing like a word, like in as like a word document, you can edit all the colors of the text, size of the text, font of the text. Everything can be done. I will show you the operator and operator team. I think it's better to show you in the UI, so you will be understanding better. Questions is nothing. There will be one more field called questions. Nothing but yesterday I show you how to add a questions and how to give the percentages of the questions. So that particular field will be comes under the questions field. Competencies is nothing but for every job requisition you can add some competencies from the competency library. You can add some competencies. This particular field is particular job is having the competencies like good communication skills and good communication skills, good team player, and good analytical thinking. So these are how these competencies are added is through this competency field. I'll show you. So these are the operator fields: the recruiter, hiring manager, recruiting coordinator, find an user. If you click that, you can find this is the operator, right? You can find some particular users from the group and you can add it here. So these are the operator fields: this recruiting coordinator, hiring manager, recruiter. These are all the operator fields. And this is the question field. Where is the competencies? Job description, recruiting coordinator. Competencies is also usually if you click that, we can see a pop-up will appear and you can see all the competencies there. And if you click the whatever competencies you want, those will be added to the job requisition template. Okay, that is a competency field. Rich text. Where is the rich text? This is not a rich text field. Yeah, this is the rich text field. Okay, there will, if you can add, but also you can add some. This is same like a description field, but you can add links and different colors. All this can be done through a rich text field. This is a question, but I'm not able to find this competency. I will show you going forward. I'll show you how to. This is the operator team field. Okay. Uh, Restore admin, reapply personal preferences, manage additional users. Like if you see that in this particular recruiting team, usually recruiter is one person, but recruiting team you can add a complete team here. Okay, and requisition administrator team, like if 10 or 20 like let's say if there is a position and that position in that particular position, uh, particular job requisition, they can it's for 10 people that they have to hire 10 different team members in a team. Then there will be only one particular job requisition and there will be 10 different jobs. So all the like only one recruiter cannot work on that particular if that big size, right? So at that time they will include all the recruiters. Like if there are 10 recruiters working in in a particular country or for a region, they will include all the recruiters here. You can also search for the recruiters, and add them. Yeah, there will be you can see the suggestions, and if you click there will be added. uh, yeah, usually I don't know the recruiters names. if you know the recruiter's name, we can add those recruiters into the team. So this is the operator team field. Okay, these are the operator team field. So these are the different fields which we use, but most of the all these fields, different types of fields will be provide. I will provide you the document, like what are the fields which we have to use, and this job code. You see, this is the standard fields. Okay, these are not the custom fields. These are the standard fields which are available. I will show you how to add the standard fields also. Working. Yeah, these are all the fields, right? If you want to add a field, add a standard filter field, multi-select field, job code, operator team field, or custom field. So here, these are the different options. If you want to add an operator team field, standard team field, you can click that here. Yeah, this is the field it already added. Classification type. So these are all the different classification type. Uh, where is that field? Yeah, usually if it's like 100 fields, how can we? Yeah, it's very hard to find in the big drop down, but usually this is the place where we can add different types of standard fields which are already there in the system. And if you want to add a custom field, where- yeah, if you see the standard operator field, so these are the available standard operator fields. B team or VP of success, staffing team, source team. So if you are not using this particular field in the 100 fields above, you can use that for a particular field. Custom field, you can just give the name, and these are all the different types of fields which are available. So you can choose depending on your requirement. You can choose one. I think I already explained you all these all currently date derived instructions. Multi attachment is nothing but um, if a recruiter wants to attach a copy of that particular candidate, or interviewer wants to attach a particular copy when he is interviewing, if he takes some notes, if you want to attach a copy of that, by using this particular field, they can attach some documents to the job requisition template. Okay, and it will be a link, like if you click that option, there will be a box to upload the documents. It will be supported by like different documents like Excel, PPT, Word, these all things. Operator and operators team, I showed you percentage, pick list, questions, rich text and text area. So these are all the different fields which you can use to create a custom fields. Okay, any doubts in these fields and field types? Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, requirement example. Yeah, usually they won't use like 150 or 110 fields. Usually there will be like 30, 40 fields, or depends on requirement. But you most there will be many standard fields. You can find all those fields. Don't panic by seeing these many kind of fields. It's easy to go to the UI, and this is the first one where we add the fields defined, right? So click that and try to delete all the fields which are there, 140 fields, uh, and try to add some standard fields or filter fields. You will just understand how the different fields are created. Uh, like try to add at least one field of a different type. How to delete? Yeah, here there is a delete option, right? If you want to show this particular if you want to show this particular field to the top, you can just click this. It will go to the next level up. In the same way, if you want to click this title in the top, the title comes up. The only thing is it's very hard to edit in this pop-up. Like if you want to edit 30 fields in the only one pop-up, it would be somewhat difficult if you are adding some translations and all this. Otherwise, the UI is the best thing. You see, everything is pretty straightforward. You can just understand by just reading, and whether it's required, keep it as true. If it's not required, keep it as false. uh, there are different options. You can just pick it from the drop down. No need to remember all those things. Field ID, if it's a standard field, you can see like all the different standard field IDs. Okay, so it's just easy to do it from the UI. Always in XML it's preferred, but it's hard, right? You have to remember different field types. If you want to add a custom field, you have to you don't remember. It depends, some people who are very used with XML, they feel easy to do it in XML. Some people don't like XML, they want to edit every time in instance only. It depends on every each person's preference, but some kinds of configuration can only done through only through XML, and some things can only be done through UI, like attaching a you know attaching that route map and attaching the rating scale, and defining these custom fields. These all parts are very easy to do it from the instance, but like doing the translations, adding like 10 different translations, it's easy to just add it here, right? Or adding some field definitions like field permissions, it is easy to add it from the XML. Like role name, like there will be role names and role statuses, and those are all things can be very easy to do it from the XML. It depends from each person's preference. What, where to edit and do, uh, where to edit either in XML or in UI. Uh, Usually you can do it from both the ways. You can do it from XML or in the UI. Before when I think before one one year there is no much support in the user interface. Most of the things have to be done from the XML. Mm, when I was working on the recruiting also, we used to do most of the things from XML only. There is no support for the UI, much very good support like which you are seeing now. It's not there in the UI. It's usually in the recent. I'm also not sure when they. I think very recently, maybe in last 1 year, they came up with this new UI upgrades, and with that we can just configure everything from the UI. But usually from before, most of the things are done through XML only. Shall we stop it here and continue from tomorrow?
Yes, Sasi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, usually recruiting, if you understand the process, it would be very easy. Don't panic by seeing this XML and all. That's the only thing.